Where am I? Okay, here I am. Well, folks, welcome to Earworms. We're starting a little early tonight. We'll see how this works out. This is definitely much better for our friend Mike Gorley. He has to get up at 3 a.m. Sunday mornings. Well, Monday mornings. So, that's a little bit rough. And so we're trying to start a little bit earlier. The folks are still flowing hard there at Mr. Brown Alliance. They were just talking about something we'll talk a little bit about before we get started. The Live Aid concert and Queen's performance. But we also need to discuss some other things, such as the works of Hans Zimmer, who is a very storied, still living, amazing film composer, as well as all-around musician. He got his start in popular music as a keyboardist and synthesizer player, and he always included some electronic music and some synthesizer in his works throughout his career. And this was a request by our good friend Flav Zimmer. So we'll see if we can do a good job of talking about Hans Zimmer. And since Hans Zimmer did the score for the Da Vinci Code, we're going to throw in a little bit about the Da Vinci Code. We're not going to do our scene by scene, play by play of going through the film, but we will be talking about some of the highlights, mostly some of the mysteries that were explored by the film. So in any case, since we're getting going a little early tonight, we're going to be on our ramping up of intensity. We'll come next with the next part of the ramp right here. Hello, lady.
Hello.
Well, we do need to give you guys a slight warning. We are experiencing a bit of a storm outside here in North Florida right now.
Oh, yes.
It sounds like it has calmed down a little bit, but about 20 minutes ago, we did have a power flicker, even flickered on and off. Well, off and then back on. That's enough to put the router down. And so, it takes about a minute or two for it to boot up again. And so if we get something like that, you may have Mike here on his lonesome carrying it for a little bit.
Awesome.
So we might as well introduce him.
Educated by Mike. Yes.
Yeah, we got to introduce him before something like that happens so people know who they're dealing with. Hello, Mike.
Good evening. Well, I certainly hope I don't get kidnapped or anything should you disappear. That would be really bad if we all disappeared.
Yeah, that would be an interesting first. We could try that out, Seinfeld was a show about nothing.
Well,
we could have a stream about nothing. A stream with nothing.
Just blanks. I don't know. Where's Scott at? Hey, Scott's here.
Scott is here. Yeah.
Hello,
Scott. Hail, Scott.
Scott's our rock. Last week we did pose the whole idea of starting a little earlier at 7 o'clock Eastern time here in the U.S. And everybody that was with us live was in favor of it. I know some of the Brown Alliance people will be joining us after he concludes, but they shouldn't miss too much. We'll see how this works out. We do have World of Swap Shop tonight. He'll be joining us. He said he'll need to be just a little bit late. In fact, it probably works out that he'll be here at our normal start time at 7:30. even though for him it's midnight at that time. But he'll be with us because there is definitely some knowledge that he can share with us about some of the things that the Da Vinci Code poses. But let's see. I'm gonna, since Mr. Brown is
Most
going on
definitely, most
right
definitely.
now, let me see something here. I want to see if Flav is in his chat.
Oh, you're spying on Flav? Don't spy on
I'm not
Flav.
spying. I'm not spying. It's just like
It's fine.
he requested this episode, and I hate to do it without him here. Well, it's not like
Spying.
I have a choice. We've already kind of started.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
all right. So
Poor
anyway, no,
Flav.
Flav is not in his chat, so hopefully Flav's okay. But
Oh,
he'll get
gosh.
us on the rewind.
He'll be here.
All right. So
Yeah.
I think
Well, we
first,
can talk about
if our audience isn't confused enough, wondering Da Vinci Code, Hans Zimmer, well, yeah, he did the score for it. And we will be talking about the Da Vinci Code afterwards. But first, we're going to talk about the works of Hans Zimmer. Now, we never, or at least I never like to say, okay, we're going to do this composer, and then we do it, and then we consider that to be complete, and we'll never come back to it. Hans Zimmer has done so much work over his career that I can't even include all of it. And we definitely will want to revisit him in the future. So anytime we do, maybe we decide to do a film and it happens to be one that he did a score for, we'll talk about him a little bit again. But tonight we want to give a good primer, I guess, on Hans Zimmer. And whoa, no, I have Brown Stream open here, and they're showing a picture of, wow. Who dat?
What is
Okay,
going on?
never mind. All right. So anyway,
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer. Now this thumbnail, as you know, I do like to employ AI a bit, and so the thumbnail might be a mystery in and of itself with some symbolism there that it'll give somebody some a puzzle to figure out. But in any case, we shall move on from this. And this is something we'll have to come back to later. The announcement when World of Swap Shop joins us. His Chapter 9 has been released.
Ooh, yes, clapping for Chapter 9.
Praxium of the
9.
Pathfinders, Chapter 9 has been released. And he said it was grueling working on it. And to be honest with you,
Yeah.
the sound design on it is great. There, as he's been going on, his sound design has, which was good to start, has really been coming up and up. And this one, it's great. He really put a lot of work into the details and everything. And he and I will be mentioning it later when he joins us just a bit. Of course, we want everyone to check it out on YouTube. Simply just type Star Wars Retold in the search box and you'll find the channel. It's got a logo quite like this one. All righty. And let us move along here to Hans Zimmer. We're finally getting to the subject, and that's a little bit quicker than usual, believe it or not. And they are on the bin at Mr. Brown Alliance. So it looks like when they finish up, people will be joining us while we're going strong. That's great. All right. So born 1957. Now, we don't just put that in there to show people's age. It's just customary to show date for composers and stuff like that. And if they're a living composer, you just give the birth date. You don't try to speculate. You don't put it in an approximate end date or anything. So here we go, 1957. And he started off definitely kind of like more in the pop music vein, with some rock bands, punk bands and stuff, working with musicians. He was a keyboardist and synthesizer. He told stories about when he began, his parents wanted him to learn piano. They had a piano and he was trying to learn it, and he would modify it and change some things around, like a lot of art musicians do. And he was playing around with it and everything, but he wasn't like a stodgy art musician type of guy. He definitely didn't spend a lot of years in academia or anything. Um, but he did lead a storied career, which is not over yet. Two Academy Awards, as well as I believe I list later, is it like three more nominations in addition to that, the two that he did win. And the Academy Awards were for The Lion King and 1994, that is, and Dune 2021, a more recent Dune. And wow. And he has one BAFTA. I didn't check which one that is. I guess we could look that up if we want. It's on a line by itself there by accident. One BAFTA, of course. And we have 5 Grammy Awards. One of those I do have listed below. We'll be talking about it. And one Tony Award nomination. So a lot of awards going on here. I think if you want better than this, you're talking like John Williams, who's probably, the gentleman that so many film composers live in the shadow of. However, Hans Zimmer has a pretty big shadow of his own, we should say. Um, yes, 3 Academy Award nominations. I had to list that twice, huh? Or no, I listed that separately. Good. And then we have here, yes, top 100. Now, this is an interesting thing. He was in the top 100 living geniuses list that the Daily Telegraph from the UK decided to come up with in 2007. So in 2007, he was one of the top 100 living geniuses. And I would concur that as far as composers are concerned and his way of working within the industry and also composing great music, yeah, I would say he's in the genius category. Um, and
Him
look,
and Howard Shore.
yeah, Howard Shore, composer of the Lord of the Rings trilogy,
Brilliant.
very excellent. But Hans Zimmer, we're going to see as we go through some of the films, and I couldn't even include them all. There are a lot, and a lot of great ones. He's also the head of film music at DreamWorks. So he's got a position there, I guess,
Hmm.
dealing with, composers that come in or having different composers work together. Because nowadays, a lot of times it's like a combination of things where you have one person that writes themes, another person who orchestrates it, and they do different things. And so I guess it's good for him to be like an attaché for DreamWorks there. He has a company also called Remote Control Productions. It had a previous name, I forget what that was, but it's now Remote Control Productions. And he has a studio there that's like pretty advanced. And basically, they have the facilities that the composer just needs to sit down, work on the music, and get it out. I mean, it's all ready to go, at least all the equipment and everything, and being able to do so many different things and being able to not only write but record instruments and everything, as well
Isn't
as
that
having.
what's Yeah, isn't that what's expected in the industry these days? They don't just hire a composer, you have to do your own scoring and your own recordings and arrangements and things because software just makes everything so accessible, right?
Right, yeah, but it still helps, I guess, to have a studio like this that's equipped for all that, and you have some assistant engineers there ready to go. Where basically it's like, oh, we need to record the cello now. Oh, it's like, oh, their flight's late, they're delayed. Do the harp, and then and so you have all these people working together rather than me in my room trying to put it all together. You
Well,
know, and
no, but that's what I was asking. I've heard that the industry has shifted, and at least with newer productions, companies are not even hiring orchestras; they're just going with sampled
oh yeah,
instruments and
oh yeah, definitely.
hiring
Oh,
compose.
it's been that way for a long time. But
Yeah,
he has basically a studio where that's ready for him as well as for other people that want to hire the studio because it gives them the facilities and a team to help work with them and everything. So,
right.
it's basically an all-in-one house for the music making, probably some sound design too. I wouldn't be surprised. But
Right.
anyway, it's some
Well, I think
interesting
it's,
stuff here.
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I
we
was just, I to clarify what I meant, I think it's apart from, I think it's an all-in-one house in within the person itself, because they expect you as a composer to be a quote-unquote MIDI engineer and audio engineer and everything engineer to get to just produce everything.
Oh yeah, they do expect that. They expect it to just be done.
A lot cheaper to hire one guy than a whole damn orchestra.
Exactly.
Yeah, for them and everything, and they expect
Yeah.
wonders, and they always have. Like composers have always had issues with revisions and everything being done on a time frame that is like nearly impossible to do, because a lot of yeah, these people that are expecting these results are not musicians and not composers, and they don't know
Right.
all the limitations involved. But it's still project studios like his would still be useful for those composers that wanted to basically hire a team for helping them do their work. And you know what I mean? It's like if you don't have it yourself, you at least have a studio you can go to, get your stuff done for the studio and everything like that. So anyway, what are we doing here? We do need to talk about some of the bands he started with. I think these are bands that Mike may have played in back in the day. Let's see, Mike, have you ever played with Krakatoa?
Oh yeah, man, all the time.
How about the Buggles?
Oh yeah, that's yeah, Trevor Horn and Jeff Downs who played with Yes
Yep.
later
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. And Hans Zimmer worked with Trevor Horn, not only in this, but there was a film later on where he worked with Trevor Horn. I think it was Toys, the soundtrack and score for Toys. We'll be talking about that coming up. So Trevor
Oh
Horn,
yeah, I fly my private jet over to England all the time.
yes, Hans Zimmer is German, from Germany, but he grew up and spent a lot of years in the UK before moving to the United States. Let me type this in. Hans Zimmer on earworms right now. So because they're ending, so I thought I'd put that in there so folks can come on over.
There
I
we
don't
go.
know. They
Hey,
may
that's a
be
bit deceptive.
what? We mean deceptive.
Hans Zimmer on earworms? Like he's gonna be
Oh,
on
I
earworms?
was.
Oh, we forgot to
Oh
tell you,
Whoops.
yeah,
it's coming along.
man, people are gonna
Guys.
rush into this live
Okay.
stream and then get mad at you.
Let me type this. Hold on. Let me
Mad
type
at
this in the
us.
Browns chat. Hans Zimmer is not
Uh,
appearing in person. Not
yeah.
appearing in
Not
person,
even in spirit. Not even
but
in spirit,
we
my
are
friend.
talking about him.
Yes.
All right. So we are
Well, Brian
accurate.
Hayes
My
making a
God.
cameo later.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're all about the accuracy here at Earworms.
Oh
Um,
yes.
okay, so yes, Hans Zimmer does live in the U.S. now, but did spend a number of years in the UK. And let's see, yes, so the Buggles, and then Chrisma, a band I'm not familiar with, but I am familiar with Mecano from Spain, and he worked with them on like a live concert and did two songs that I think he composed, or at least had a hand in composing. And then Shriekback, which is a band that I had not known at the time, but in recent months, I've actually been listening to a stream where someone's played some of their music, and I was like, hey, this is good stuff. So I've been checking out Shriekback. It is a band I do recommend for folks to check out. So yeah, a lot of pop music stuff there to start. And then he went into doing like jingles for commercials before eventually getting into film music. At first, the film music he did was with Stanley Myers, who was a film composer, and he kind of basically worked with him a little bit on some films before he did some of his own solo scores. And those solo scores began with. This is his first solo film score was something encounters, terminal encounters,
Exposure.
We suck here at Earworms, or at least I do. Terminal exposure. This is not a film I'm familiar with, but it does have posters out there, so this was something. It's not like he started with a film that was totally unknown and just like a film student thing. He started with a film that got out there, so that's pretty good. But of course, he was working with another composer at first, so he really did have, shall we say, his proving grounds and everything to get started. So anyway, let us move on from that. I was hoping that swappers would be here, might have some comments on some of these films. Now, this is one I saw. This is
Oh,
probably maybe second, third film, something like that, early
yeah.
on,
Wow.
1988. First big one, I guess you would say, because it was an Academy Award nomination for score. Now, this film did win other Academy Awards, but as far as Hans Zimmer's score, it was nominated. And I think you all might remember that. Da, 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 dee, da, 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 ba, ba. Played by the pan flute sound, so to speak.
I have to go back
Am
and
I the only one that remembers that?
I don't remember the theme to this one.
Ba, ba, da, dee, da, da. Beep, boo, da. Yes, it's a beautiful one. Should we do a sidestep and actually hear a little bit of music?
Okay.
Let's see
Yeah.
here. Of course, it needs to be clipped later, but if you're hearing us on the rewind, it'll probably be after these clippings. But of course, you can check it out yourself. I'm just searching Hans Zimmer, Rain Man. Now, Rain Man, is it all one word? Oh, it's all one word. Yeah, I spelled it there as two words. Well, auto spelling will tend to do that. Here, let me see if I can find the theme from Rain Man. There we go. I want to make sure it's ready. And let's switch on over. So let's hear the theme for Rain Man. Of course, this will be clipped out. If you're hearing us on the rewind, you will have just a bit of space there, and then you'll hear us talking about it afterwards. So just be prepared for that. Whenever these clippings happen, I do provide links in a comment in the chat or the comments below. I do provide a post there with links to Rumble and Odyssey because they don't make you clip out stuff like that. I guess you really got to be trying to steal something for it to be a problem. But on YouTube, no. Just one little bit of a song. They want the monetization for the whole stream, or they want to ban you from playing it, just like Yellow Submarine. I couldn't even play little clips of dialogue from Yellow Submarine. Not even the Beatles songs. The little clips of dialogue were banned, and I had to clip them out before it was allowed to be shown. And
Even
that
the
also,
Italian.
and that even happened. What was it? It was like last week that happened to us with Kraftwerk. And that wasn't even stuff from oh no, that was the Saturday Night Live
Yeah.
stuff. A
Yeah.
little clip of Saturday Night Live stuff. It's like, no, 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 no. You can't play that at all. We don't even just take your monetization. You can't play that at all. Clip that out. And then you put it on its auto clipping and it didn't work.
It didn't work.
And we had to do it
Man.
manually.
Yep.
Oh, so folks, we hope you really appreciate this. Here we are. The theme from Rain Man by Hans Zimmer. And interestingly enough, think about it as you hear this. What instrument is playing this? And I'm not talking about the instrument that's being emulated here. All right. It's obviously some sort of pan flute or a shakuhachi or something like that. But what instrument do you think was utilized to make this sound?
classic 80s,
Here we go. This sound here.
Lawrence, Scott says that there's no sound.
Roro.
Yeah.
What?
No sound. Yeah,
Well, this is Evie Mux. It's supposed to just do it.
I know.
What?
The day of sound glitches on both streams. For no
Hold on. I know why.
why?
Because I have the video player up. And you are all just looking at an empty video player while I'm listening to Rayman.
Well, we could at least us in the panel can hear it, but Scott can't hear it. That's a problem.
Yeah, well, we want that. We want Scott to hear it. There we go. Maybe now that it's appearing on screen, I might actually be sharing.
Yeah.
So I'm playing this thing. You're not hearing it, and I'm just like,
Yes. It's like, why are you dancing? Okay.
ah, okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We got the idea. Hold on. I should have it like, I think I played it where it wasn't at. Oh, there we go, folks. And now, what the heck is going on here? I need to hit this skip ad. Oh, okay. It's just playing another Mr. Brown. He didn't redirect. Oh, well.
Oh no.
Oh, Mr. Brown.
Well, we got 5 watchers.
All right, we
and
got
that
5
is,
watchers.
We're gonna make a good show for
Okay.
them. And
Yeah,
so,
if I could actually play the music and stuff like that, it would help. All right.
yeah.
So, okay, let's go back to our discussion here and going through some of these great scores that Hans Zimmer has done. So that's the theme from Rain Man. I'm sure you recognize it once you've heard it, Liza.
No, I didn't remember the theme at all, actually.
Holy.
For that movie. I don't know. I remember the movie. Movie was great. It's just the music didn't stick with me for whatever reason. I'm not crapping
Well,
on it.
some of the
It's
other
good.
stuff was like incidental stuff. They had like the them bones, dry bones, dry bones. They played that in there a bit. And of course there was the Vegas music for that scene, and all sorts of other there were some other pop songs in there that weren't him, and so but that theme was cool. And
No, it was
whatever.
cool. And you said you were gonna tell us what instrument was actually playing that. What
that
was the synthesizer?
that synthesized flute sound was the Fairlight. Remember our good friend the Fairlight from a few weeks back?
Yes.
The Australian made computer music synthesizer sampler. Well, mostly sampler.
Was
and
it all
everything.
Fairlight? That string or voice sound, airy voice sound.
The samples in there. So yeah, you have that. I believe it was the pads behind, as well as probably the percussion. The thing I read said it was mostly Fairlight. And so, yeah, because it was a sampler, you could sample the percussion sounds too and play them back. So anyway, there we go. Rain Man. And Zimmer said about this that he did the score because he did stuff like this in the score because of where the character was. It kind of like mentally and everything. It's like, well, he's kind of in his own world and everything. So, it felt like fine to make this kind of like fantasy world thing. And, thinking of Rain Man, it's like, I don't know, he went into a fantasy world. So anyway, let us go onwards here. And we have now, is this, let me see which title we have up here. Cool Runnings. Now I put this one in myself. It's not a legendary film at all. but it did have a Hans Zimmer score, and I remember it from back when I saw the film. I liked it, and I also it's like, oh yeah, this Hans Zimmer guy, he's been doing a lot of cool scores recently, and so this is one that also reminded me, you know, when I was looking up some of the films he did, I added this one. It was a John Candy film. John Candy was in it as the coach of the Jamaican bobsled team, and the score was good. Uh, It was
I don't
good.
think I saw that movie.
It was
Maybe we
good.
should do it
It was
sometime.
good, inspirational movie. It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like John Candy.
Yeah,
Based on a true story. It was
yeah,
basically, yes, the
yeah.
Jamaican bobsled team. And I remember it. They did go to the Winter Olympics that year, and they were runners basically, and they couldn't compete in the track events for some reason. And so these athletes, they came up with the idea, well, why don't we use runners to do bobsledding? Because they get a good fast start. But of course, they don't have much snow in Jamaica, but hey, they went in it and at least made a good effort. There was a bit
Yeah.
of a wipeout, but made a good effort. Anyway, next, there's some slide guitar that is quite memorable from the Thelma and Louise soundtrack score.
Never seen it.
Nope. We really need movie buffs, when we do this stuff. What happens to Jay Goodwin and Adam Gray when you
When
need
you
them?
need them, yeah.
Yeah.
What is this?
I say Take Two with Barry Levinson. Barry Levinson was also made Rain Man. And then after this, Hans Zimmer did the score for another Barry Levinson film called Toys. And this one starred Robin Williams. And
Never seen
is
this.
about,
Yeah.
it was a bit odd. It was artsy. It's about like a toy factory, but it was somewhat surreal. A toy factory, and someone like was trying to take it over and make war toys, like soldiers and things like that. And the some of the people there didn't want the war toys, and so they wanted regular toys and stuff. And it was interesting. It was like an allegory type
So this
film.
wasn't a comedy?
It had
At
some
all?
comic moments, but it had a serious theme to it.
No.
Kind of like Patch Adams was had comic moments, but had a serious theme to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this one was a little more surreal, and it also starred LL Cool J in it, so that was interesting. But the score was really good. I remember it, and I actually got it on CD. So I had Toys on CD, I had Rain Man on CD, and I had Cool Runnings. There was a theme happening here in the 90s. But these were some of my picks that I added in between here. But The Power of One was an important score for him. This was a movie about South Africa at the time with apartheid, and Zimmer did the score for it. And it was this score that inspired Disney to ask him to do The Lion King. And so I have not seen this film, but this is basically what inspired Disney to hook up with him for Lion King. And of course, in 1994, The Lion King is one that he won an Academy Award for. So there we go. I do remember that. And, you know,
Yeah.
is it The Circle of Life and stuff?
Wait, which did he? I mean, we know the Elton John thing was just an arrangement, but did he compose the rest of the music?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say it was like Hans Zimmer did the orchestral stuff, you know, and probably integrated with Elton John a little bit. Let me look this up before I say things that are
And
completely
Tim
wrong.
Rice. You're leaving out Tim Rice, man.
Oh yeah, the wide receiver for the 49ers. Oh, that was Jerry Rice.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
We don't know who Tim Rice is.
It's not ringing a bell right now.
He's a very good guitarist, and he co-wrote with Elton John on that.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Okay.
did Hans Zimmer work with Elton John on the Lion
On
King?
the music
Hey,
Hans Zimmer did
Bayona
stuff
Rat
with
is
Elton John.
here. Long time
Hello,
no.
Bayona.
Hey.
Yes, thanks for joining us. This is a Flav request we're doing tonight without Flav. Hopefully he'll catch us on the rewind. We're doing some Hans Zimmer. I asked this question. Oh man, and it didn't know to get AI and actually answer it. Just showing me stuff in the film.
Actually, this is a different Tim Rice.
I'm not asking about Tim Rice. I'm asking if Hans Zimmer
I'm
had
looking at
any.
it now. It's a
Oh.
different Tim Rice.
Oh, it's not the Tim
Oh,
Rice.
I thought you were questioning me.
Oh,
I wasn't
no.
questioning you. You're more than welcome to give
Okay.
us more information about your Tim Rice and stuff, but I'm trying to find out, did Hans Zimmer work with Elton John on The Lion King? I know they both had music in the film, but I'm just wondering if he
Did they
had any hint.
collaborate?
It said,
Oh, he
yes,
collaborated with
Hans
Tim
Zimmer
Rice.
worked with Elton John on The Lion King. Elton John was responsible for writing the songs with Hans Zimmer, composed the instrumental score. Okay. So Hans Zimmer probably wasn't writing in the songs, but they have to integrate it with the score a little bit. So they have to like kind of cross pollinate a bit for it to work.
That's strange for such a big time composer to do the orchestration for somebody else. Usually that's relegated to an underling.
Well, the thing is, there's moments of the score that are just instrumental orchestral score. That's what Hans Zimmer was doing.
Okay.
They brought in Elton John to do like the song "The Circle of Life,"
Okay, so he was
or is it "The Cycle of Life"? I don't know which.
he was working on
Circle of
he
Life.
did the incidental music like the score.
But it's more than incidental because there's some
I
important
think it's
themes and
interesting they're
stuff in
leaving
there.
this other guy out.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike.
No, he's saying they are leaving.
Well, I
this
just
other
think
guy
it's
out.
interesting what you're reading. Yeah, because what I'm reading here, it said Tim Rice worked on The Lion King. He wrote the lyrics for several songs, including Circle of Life, I Just Can't Wait to Be King, Be Prepared, Hakuna Mata, and Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Working
Wait,
Hakuna
with
Matata.
he's basically the composer for The Lion King then.
Well, he worked on the lyrics. That says there. So this would be something
Yeah,
that
it
Bernie
says working with
Taupin
Elton
wasn't.
John.
So
Oh,
Bernie
okay.
Taupin didn't do the
Right, that's
lyrics
what I'm saying.
because
Okay.
Bernie Taupin did the lyrics for just
Right,
about all
because
of Elton
Elton John was
John's
not a
music.
lyricist.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought Elton John wrote his lyrics. I didn't know that.
No. Bernie Taupin was on for a long, long time. Yeah, Elton John was not a lyric writer. Bernie
Ah,
Taupin would. The amazing thing is, Bernie Taupin would bring him bring him lyrics like the whole "Goodbye Yellow Brick Road" thing. Bernie Taupin brought the lyrics to the studio they were recording in like 2.5 hours. Elton John had done the whole music for "Goodbye
Wow.
Yellow Brick Road," one of his most famous albums.
Oh yeah.
So
The whole
this
album.
guy, yeah,
The whole album that
Wow.
fast. Wow.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah,
Candle in the Wind was in that album.
yes,
Funeral for a Friend.
yeah. It was a double album.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh
He said like
wow.
2.5 hours. He was ready to record.
Whoa. That's insane.
He must have had
Yeah,
some of
pretty
those
amazing. But
songs
anyway, yeah.
already
So
in
Tim
his
Rice
head.
is the guy who wrote the lyrics to the songs for the Lion King.
Wow.
Okay.
He might have. I don't know. I don't know. They said that's how he kind of worked. I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, I
mean,
guess the thing is he has some musical ideas in his head, and then when the songs come, he's like, "Oh yeah, that'll work with this one. That'll work with this one." Yeah, but they're
I
kind
think
of like,
that's everybody, but
yeah.
that's a lot of
I don't-
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll play around with something, and then all of a sudden, I've talked to guys that said, yeah, I had this little bit of a song for years and years and years and didn't know what to do with it, and then all of a sudden, it fits
Yeah.
something.
All right,
So
so
that's cool.
there we
So you
go.
learned something about Elton John. Yes, he did not write lyrics.
Huh.
This guy Tim
Wow.
Rice did. But it was a different Tim Rice than I was thinking of. So there's two Tim Rices.
Wow. Confuse people in credit reading. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we did get a Grammy Award here. Those are the Grammys, not the Academies.
Crimson Tide.
But a
Okay.
Grammy Award for the theme from Crimson Tide. Now, Crimson Tide is the one with Cuba Gooding
Oh, you
Jr.
know what?
and Gene Hackman, I believe. Very good movie.
Haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I know who I was confused with. I was confusing him with Tony Rice. Tony Rice is a guitar player.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, I was thinking Jerry Rice, so, You're talking
Yeah,
90s,
one time he talked
man.
about musicians.
Okay. Well, anyway, I'm
Oh
sure
God, it
Flav
is
will really
Sunday, but
be
it's not fall yet. It's almost
yeah.
fall season. Thin Red
Um,
Line.
The Thin Red Line. This is another film he did. This is not one I've seen, but supposedly was really important. I guess a lot of the music was then later used in some video games and so forth. I mean, it's just a lot of films that he did. Now, early 2000s. We made it through the 90s here, and I didn't include everything. There was still some films that, um, you know,
I was going to say,
not
man, I was
included.
looking at a list. He did a shit ton of movies.
Yeah, I know. Why can't I
Yeah.
do all of them? I mean, we can eventually explore some of the films or some of the scores
Well, yeah, it
individually.
would, no, you can't. But I
We
was
could
just
explore some of them
yeah,
individually later. Like this will probably not be our last encounter with Hans Zimmer. I mean, some of these films I was thinking about maybe
we could
doing
probably hit
sometime in
just
the
the more
future.
popular ones.
We're still in the summer.
He
Maybe
started out doing some French movies back in like '82.
Yeah, that might have been with that Stanley Myers that he was working with.
So yeah, you're covering the popular ones.
Yeah, I'm.
It was. You're correct. Yes.
Otherwise, it'd be even worse because here I'm showing some popular ones that I haven't seen, some of them, and it'd be even worse if I was showing some that no one's heard of and I haven't seen, and there's nothing to say. Oh, look at this poster. That's a French girl. Yeah. All right.
Well, it would
All
take
right.
all night to cover everything he's done.
Oh
Holy
yeah.
crap!
Well, a lot of these
I wasn't
films were
dogging
also
him.
themes,
Saying he's
and
done a lot of movies.
yep. Early 2000s,
Yeah. Well, no,
Gladiator.
we'd be here all night going over every movie he did.
Yeah. All right. Yes, Gladiator. That was a good film as well as a good score. Very good. What else do we have here? Black Hawk Down. Now, this is not my type of movie. I'm not into the war films so much, and especially ones that are graphic as this, but I guess at least it might do the purpose of telling people, convincing people that war is a bad thing because it was pretty graphic. But he did the score for that. And what do we have here? The
Ooh, The
Last
Last Samurai.
Samurai,
God,
featuring
that's
Tom Cruise.
a very good movie.
Oh, I forget the comedian who had a great line about that. He's like, "Yeah, The Last Samurai by Tom Cruise." No, I can't say it because I'd have to say a word I can't say. But anyway, he's making a comparison to. Never mind. I can't say it actually.
Yeah, don't ruin your channel.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, yeah, Tom Cruise. I mean, this was a good film, and the photography in it was really good, especially at the end, those trees and everything. Oh wow.
Yeah, it was a really, really good and visually beautiful film. Yeah.
And Tom wasn't the actual last samurai; it's the other guy that he was companions with.
Well, the samurai is supposed to be plural, so they were talking about the last
Yeah.
last samurai, the group.
Not to be confused with the 47 Ronin, which was what's his name? Keanu Reeves. Right? Yeah. Very good. Thanks for the backup. And then our friend here, the Da Vinci Code, which we'll be talking about in a little bit with the World of SWAT Shop. If he's going to make it, he said he needed a half hour, but who knows? Maybe he saw the way this stream started. All right, so here we go, the Da Vinci Code. Now, in this one, I am going to play the theme here because I think we need a little bit more spice. And I think I do need one more thing to have to cut out later.
We need some music in a music stream.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. let's see, Hans Zimmer, the Da Vinci Code. So here I am queuing it up. And so we're going to hear this theme now. Now, the thing about this film, and we'll be talking about this in a bit as soon as we finish these scores. Um, the film, the score is very subtle, and it's like really, he leaves a lot out to begin with, and then drops the theme in a little bit here, then a little bit more, then a little bit more, and then it's towards the end that the theme comes in nice and strong and really is so effective. So it's primarily, I heard some things in it that was like a little variations on the theme, but it's primarily that main theme that you're going to hear now. And it's just dropped in little bit by little bit, and then and each time it comes back, it's a little bit longer. It's almost like as they figure out the mystery more and more and more, the theme comes out for longer periods of time. So there's definitely some thought behind it. It's not just decorating a film with music. So let us check this out here a little bit. Good mix of orchestra and synthesized parts. It starts quiet, so you might need to turn it up. Okay, I'm going to pause there, but you see, the guy knows how to build. What the hell? I thought I paused. I rewound. Okay, so the guy knows how to build. Well, he knows how to do a lot of things with this storied career. So let me see. We go back to the slides. All right, and so, but if you watch the film, you're not going to hear a lot at first. Remember, it's a gradual process as the theme reveals itself over time, just like as the mystery does over the course of the film. So, let us move onward and upward, shall we? Come on, click it, click it, click it.
Shall we? Let us.
All right, and then now he wrote. Now, the Pirates of the Caribbean. Interesting thing here, they wanted him to do the score, but he basically did the theme for them, and another composer, worked with it for the film because he didn't have time because he was working on something else. But then after that, for the ensuing rest of the films in the series, Hans Zimmer did do the full score for them. He collaborated with somebody on the last one, I guess the fourth one or whatever, but it wasn't all him for all of them. And but that theme for the first one is awesome.
Oh, yeah. The few themes for the first one were strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, and then for me, after the first film, the other films just, I don't know. The scores might have been great, but the films themselves didn't quite do it for me. It's one of those things where it's like I don't know that it needed to be a series, or if it was going to be it. I don't know. The second one, I was just like, "The hell's going on?"
Well, if you remember at the time, Disney was producing movies based on rides that were in the park. This Pirates of the Caribbean and then the Haunted Mansion. And
Yeah.
so I don't think this was meant to be a series, but they saw so much potential in it that they, you know, turned something that was that had like a fun, you know, what do you call it? It was a period movie, but it was a comedy, and then they
Yeah.
tried to turn it into Lord of the Rings, and for me, it did not work.
Oh. Yeah, that would
You
be
know,
different.
they try to make it the something that started off with having one type of story, one type of character, and then try to develop it into something epic, like
Yeah,
Lord
when
of
I
the
was over
Rings,
at
and
your
it did.
house, like several years back, and your grandmother was watching it, and it was in Spanish. Of course, I didn't understand what's going on, but the whole thing about like this ship in a void was a little bit like, well, I can understand the ghosts, but now you're in a void. Okay, well, I don't know.
Well, the issue I had is that they took something that people liked with a light, fun story and
Yeah,
light, fun characters, and try to turn Captain Jack Sparrow into someone heroic like Aragorn, and that's no. Come on,
okay.
no. You didn't feel that?
Well, I didn't actually watch much of the other ones. Remember the
Oh,
one I just saw bits of it when your grandmother was watching it with the Spanish overdubs.
oh, okay.
And the second one, I saw a little bit of it, but I was like,
No, the second it was not good.
it was just disjointed. From the
I think
beginning,
they
it was
saw
like
dollar
disjointed.
signs.
What was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to see more dollar signs, do good films.
I said I think they saw dollar signs. That's what
Well,
they
I
saw.
mean, they could have continued it in the series. I mean, but just do better at it. I don't know. But
I
anyway,
agree.
but
Do
anyway,
better.
we have Sherlock Holmes, and he did the score for that. And in this, he needed to make some traditional Romany music, and so he did such a thing. And also for The Last Samurai, he was, even though he felt like he didn't do Japanese music great justice, a lot of people that I guess are knowledgeable about it felt that he really did. So perhaps he's a humble man, and so he's able to study some of these musics from other cultures
Very cool.
and really express them well. Let's see, we have here, and then yes, there was a tragedy that ensued after The Dark Knight Rises with the Aurora, Colorado tragedy. But he did the score for that film, and it was pretty sad that a great film and a great score like that had to have something like that attached to it forever now. Um, and then we have here, I was just trying to be funny here, and it was stupid. He did the score for Dunkirk, and so I say James T is finished. That stupid joke. That stupid joke. Let's see here. Or is it June? Did you? Because some people pronounce it like it's a DJ. Did you? June. Like that. But it's Dune. It's a pile of sand, folks, and Frank Herbert novels. And yes, he did the more recent one. So he's in the 2020s because this was 2021. This film was released. And that's it. That's what I have so far. So it's a summary of some Hans Zimmer, and we will be exploring maybe some of these films in the future with some of these scores. I know at some point I do want to do. We mentioned this before, Last of the Mohicans. Maybe
Yeah.
just like I'm going to do tonight, except I will actually show some slides from the film, but just some bits and pieces of important moments and especially good moments for the score because that theme and resulting score was great. Um, but that was not Hans Zimmer. That was Terry Jones, I believe. Not Terry Jones. He's in Monty Python. Terry. Oh, I got to look it up. Hold on here. Uh,
Terry Jones. Oh yeah, he's a
he
composer.
also did the Dark Crystal. Remember that? Who composed
Yes.
the music for the Dark Crystal? Just type that and it was Trevor Jones, not Terry Jones. So Trevor
Ay, ay.
Jones and the Last of the Mohicans, we got to do at some point. All right, let us move forward here with our next set of slides, and this is where Swap Shop would be a wonderful help, but he's not with us just yet.
Not just yet.
So I'm going to hide that one and show this one. So anyway, so some thoughts on the Da Vinci Code. Now, Liza and I saw it this week. This was the first time for Liza because she had not seen it before. And there are some interesting mysteries, speculations, perhaps. Some of it perhaps intended to be fiction, but drawing upon some interesting theories, shall we say. And one thing that Liza felt was difficult is I don't even know if the original film, if it had subtitles for the French on screen or not, but at least what we saw did not. So,
Oh, I watched
you
it
know,
last night. It had subtitles.
oh, okay. So
Mm,
you would have what we would call a better copy. And so
yeah.
Well, I watched
the
it on Prime, but
Well,
yeah,
we
that
can
would
you
have
imagine,
about that.
Lauren? I mean, we watch Yellow Submarine in Italian. That was very first experience with the Yellow Submarine was in Italian. Oh,
Yeah.
guardia, viejo blue. Can you imagine the whole? And so I kind of know what's going on, but I seen the Yellow Submarine yet? I don't know if technically I've seen it. I don't know.
no,
It
you
was
saw it
funny.
in English afterwards.
Oh yes, that's right. I did. I did
It's
look at.
actually on YouTube. Strangely enough, they banned us from releasing a video with little
It's
clips.
free on YouTube.
But yeah,
Yeah.
and it's under a name that's like Christopher something. It's not like a film house or anything like that. It's even got just like a letter icon for the person's name that uploaded it. So that person didn't get banned. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, how they miss some
Yeah.
things. I don't know.
Yeah.
Grr.
And that's the whole length full thing. So you can watch it free on YouTube now. And it's not even doctored or altered in a way to try and hide it. It's like
Yeah, I don't know
full
why they haven't
quality.
caught that guy. Well, no, we're not gonna rat him out because I got it.
Yeah.
Got to see Yellow Submarine, but
That's
first
right.
experience in Italian, and so
Well, anyway,
interesting.
so we're going to start with some things here. Wait a minute. Is that Swappers there?
Yeah,
Is
it
it?
is.
Why didn't people
It's
why
Swapper.
didn't people tell me he's here?
We didn't notice he came in.
He snuck in.
He snuck in.
What the hell is going on? It's like, are you sure you want to? No, I don't want to remove him. I want to put him on the screen. Oh, you are. Yeah, because we're in a scene. Never mind. Sorry. That's something I need to click you in if we're in the opening scene, but in this scene, you're already in. Welcome, World of Swap Shop.
Thank
Yay!
you. Thank you,
And
everybody.
before we get started, I didn't know that you would need a little bit of time, but we did mention this earlier, and we should probably just remind folks of it. The chapter 9
Episode 9. Yes, or
is
chapter 9.
released.
Yay.
Now, you said this was a very grueling one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think it was because I wrongly assumed it was going to take me quite a short amount of time because it's mostly dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out that doing dialogue heavy episodes is just as bad as doing effects heavy episodes because you've got to make sure all the dialogue is exactly um, everything sounds just right. And there's a lot of levels to organize because you've
Yeah.
got background sounds, you've got all the kinds of other stuff going on, incidental music and effects and whatever else as well. But because the software I'm using, 11 Labs, converts my voice to sound like the characters, it can also have very strange effects. And so my pronunciation and my voice acting can sometimes be completely distorted and warped, and
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it can take like multiple goes at trying to get a line out, and like maybe 10 times to make it sound right.
Oh my
So
god.
there's a lot of
So
retweets and
that's interesting. I mean, which character between like Ray and Luke would be more challenging for you? Because like with Luke, you obviously have to speak in a different accent, but he's a man, and then Ray is a woman, but she's got the right accent,
yeah, right.
or at least closer to it. I know there's like 500 different British accents, but at least she's
Yeah,
closer.
she's quite neutral really as far as accents go, but I mean I can do the accents fairly okay. Um, but that's the problem is if you mispronounce anything slightly wrong to your ears it might sound fine when you're recording it, but when you can listen back you really pick up on certain things because it's essentially someone else's voice. So you might not hear yourself say it, but you can hear the character say it. So you think all is well and good, and then you come back for another pass of the final listen through. For this one's like half an hour or so. I think, oh my god! So you got to sit there for half an hour trying, remastering it and rechecking everything's right, and then you can hear a mispronunciation of an R word, and you're like, oh, this doesn't sound right now. This obviously, and I'm such a stickler and a perfectionist that I pick up on things like this. So sometimes I will have to go back in and re-record a whole line or something because it's, because if a character's speaking very, very fast, all the words blend into each other. You can't just re-record one word. You have to record the whole line. And then, you can correct one word and then you can listen to it again. And then another word's wrong in that same sentence. You're like, oh, no, and it's like almost like opening a Pandora's box sometimes. So I'm really, I wish I wasn't such a perfectionist with it. I really do. I wish I had lower standards sometimes.
Well, we appreciate your perfectionism, and hopefully you'll get plenty of Patreons, however it's pronounced, to help, give you some reward for your work.
That would be nice. That would be nice. I do need to still, because I've been so busy doing this episode, I still need to work out the funding side and the technical side of Patreon. So that's coming. So I wanted to prioritize at the moment just getting episode 9 out there because it's been a while since episode 8. So that was the most important thing.
No, don't worry, man. It's awesome, and I could hear the difference in the detail in the work that you did on this one, and it's important because this is where the characters really shine, are in episodes like this, and I mean, I've already commented to you before, and I saw you did respond, but I didn't get a chance to read it before the stream. In the cave scene when Ray's there, I heard a little bit of da-da, da-da. I was like, oh, John Williams is doing Jaws instead of Star Wars. I thought maybe you put that in on purpose.
Well, I only noticed that when I was doing the final listen through. And, I just thought, wow, that actually sounds really good. It's not the Jaws theme tune, but it does sound a little bit like it. I thought that added like a nice bit of dramatic effect in there as a contrast to the regular kind of whimsical score that John Williams adds to it. But funny you should say that because I did put a bit of the ET score in there as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, folks, you got to look for that.
Yeah. But it was a different scene, but I needed it to sound a bit more lighthearted in certain areas.
Oh, okay.
And the Star Wars score couldn't quite do that, so I had to outsource slightly.
Well, now if we hear Raiders in there, we know we're going a little too far.
That's what I'll be plundering next, just to see. I mean, I don't put the entire track in it. It's kind of like almost little elements. I mean, all the way through this chapter, there's no one full song because no one full track alludes itself thematically and evocatively to what's going on. So I had to chop and change a lot, and it's kind of like a Frankenstein's monster of sound effects from all different albums, from all different trilogies. So it's all over the place.
That's how they get. Yeah. Well, anyway, we're going to...
Your audio is, for some reason, really distorted right now.
Oh, is it that high-pitched stuff?
No, it sounds like you're clipping and it's muffled, but very loud as well. Maybe it's picking up on your webcam audio for some reason. I mean, we've been having audio glitches on both streams today. I don't know why.
Okay. Do you hear me yet?
It's still distorting.
It's still a little weird. Yeah, I'm hearing it too.
Yeah, I don't even see my interface in the list all of a sudden. What is going on?
No, it knocked you off of your interface. That's probably webcam audio.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's picking up some background hiss, so I'm guessing it is.
Yeah. Let me see. Did it come back yet? I'm waiting for it to give me my interface again. Oh, man. There we go. That's the output. And now the input.
That.
Oh. Now it's worse.
What?
If. Oh.
What happened?
It now it's clipping, but it's adding like a
Feedback.
yeah,
Ugh.
yes, Mike, feedback. Yes.
Sounds like you're in a tin can.
Yes. Uh, uh Scott. Scott, look at this. Yeah, today has been the day for audio glitches, unexplained audio glitches. Just,
Mm.
you know.
And we're just messing with you, Lawrence. It's the mushroom soup.
The mushroom soup, that too. That too. And Mike, I didn't make it. I didn't make that soup, so I don't know where you got it.
I watched your garden video, man. I thought I saw something out there.
No, wasn't me, Mike. It
All of
wasn't
a sudden,
me.
all of a sudden, the police is knocking at the door. What's this?
Chanterelles, officer.
It's lion's mane, really.
Oh, I wish I had lion's mane. We do got chanterelles, but it ain't the time for them
Oh
yet.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Those little featherweight things out there.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Hello. Hello.
No.
Oh, that's it. You're out of here.
Yeah.
What? So you don't? This is bad.
Yes.
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh, damn it! It's the right thing. About now.
You're
Oh,
not feedback.
now. Okay, now is good.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, there you go. Now you're good.
Oh, for crying out loud!
What?
It's
Yeah.
all I'm doing is selecting the same thing in the list multiple times, just hoping. Okay, are you going to do it right? All right. So anyway, all right, here we go. So this is what it's all about. Now the stream is going to get good. But anyway, folks, down in the description is the link to Star Wars Retold on YouTube. But as I said before, just search for Star Wars Retold, 3 words, and you'll find it. Gotta check it out. It's great into the 9th chapter now, and they're all good. It's a great story, and we will talk about it in a couple chapters. We'll reunite, and we'll talk about what we do it every 3 or 4 chapters, and we will talk about it. And this one will be a great one to talk about. I don't really want to say too much right now because it is impactful, and this is probably the one where you got to be the most creative as far as adding to to the whole story. So,
It's the
creating
one where
something new.
it breaks free of The Last Jedi, shall we say?
Yeah,
Yay! Yeah.
totally free.
Yes.
All right, so here we go, the Da Vinci Code. And so, one of the things mentioned this is just a preliminary thing. I've heard some things about Tom Hanks, and I don't know if they're true or not, but he's a bit of a photographer, and he releases photographs that he takes that are supposed to be somewhat artistic. And there's some people that I don't know what inspired them to kind of read into him a bit. But now here's the thing. I don't have Instagram, so I can't check his Instagram or Facebook feeds, and that's supposedly where they're at. But some people say there's like things like there's a missing sandal type photograph and things like that. Some things that are just a little bit creepy. And I don't know because I just hear people talk about them, and I don't actually see them, so I don't know, are they creepy or not? Does anybody know? Is
I
Tom
didn't know
Hanks creepy?
I didn't know he was on Instagram. I'll have a look.
Okay. It may be some years back. It was like some people were questioning, like some of these things, and it kind of like goes along those vibes of like, shall we say, cults and stuff like that. And I don't know. It's just a question, and I guess no one really Swappers is going to look, but I guess no one really has an answer. So we'll go on. This is going well. All right. Emperor Constantine. Now, an important point in this film is something that has always been a major thinking point for me, and I'm going to really kind of make sure I don't go too heavy into this because I don't really I don't want to. It's very easy to tread on people's toes, especially if you're talking about some faith and everything. But one important thing in history is that under Emperor Constantine, the Roman Empire became a Christian empire, and it was still an empire at that time. It just became Christianity became the adopted faith of the empire. And one of the things that's posited in the film is that Constantine was a pagan until his dying day, and he was baptized on his deathbed. I don't know if that's true or not. I wasn't there. I don't know Emperor Constantine that well. Um, but, this was when he had the Council of Nicaea, and they pretty much decided to hash out what this new established religion of Christianity was going to be, how it was going to be practiced. And not only that, what books, what ancient scripts were going to be included in the Bible and which ones would not be. So, because there are folks more, writings than those that we find in the New Testament or even in the Old Testament. Later in time, there was the Dead Sea Scrolls were found, and so there was books that would be from Old Testament times that were not included, but they're on similar subjects.
Yeah,
And
the
these are
Nag
things
Hammadi
that,
in this a lot.
What was
yeah,
that, Mike? I'm sorry.
The Nag Hammadi
Nag Hammadi,
texts were referenced in this movie quite a bit.
yes, the Gnostics.
Especially where Greek is concerned.
Now that would be New Testament oriented.
Yes.
So things like the Gospel according to Thomas, the Gospel according
Thomas
to
and
Mary
Peter.
Magdalene,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
things like that.
Yeah. Well, that's what they were referencing.
Yep.
It's
But
exactly.
basically, those books existed, and at the time of Constantine, they were there. They weren't necessarily lost and had to be found yet. So they were around, but they were not included in the Bible. So you would need a whole degree in theology or religion to really study all this and to take it all apart and everything like that. But it's one of the things that the book raises, and I'm not sure if everything it says is exactly true, but these texts do exist. And, I think it's perfectly fine for people to try and check some of them out and stuff. And just like with everything else, use your own critical thinking and decide what you find value and what you don't. But I guess suffice it to say, there's a lot more books to the Bible than what was included by the Council of Nicaea and what was considered to be canon or doctrine.
Very interesting stuff in the Gospel of Peter.
Yeah,
Just
and
putting it out
Peter was an accepted disciple, and pretty much is
there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so.
interesting that his gospel wasn't included.
Yeah. Well,
Well, maybe it's
look who's establishing the religion, this Roman emperor. You know that it's not about what it's supposed to be about. Come on.
Well, they wanted it to be patriarchal. So Mary Magdalene being a major figure would have screwed them up completely. Now, whether they actually got married, I don't know that that's actually in any of those texts. I don't remember that being in there. But her being very close to him, yes.
yeah, and well, I mean, the one line they did mention in the film does exist,
Interesting stuff.
where someone commented how Jesus seemed to show her more affection than them, and so forth. So that was included in everything. So, I mean, there's some truth
Yeah.
to it,
Now,
but
whether
it's
the
like
secret
things where it,
society, no, I don't. I never heard of them. But
And
some
there-
of the stuff that was being
sorry,
done by the church, yes.
never heard of what?
This secret society that this movie is based on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that I think is fiction, but
Well, the Opus Dei, I
I think
think,
that's
does
based
exist.
on other things. So, but
Well,
that's Hollywood, I mean, that's a movie.
Well, I mean, some of these things, what I'm saying is I did see a few documentaries on it, and some of these things do exist. It's just, are they in the way that the movie supposes? And
Right.
that's
what I'm
where,
saying. Yeah,
yeah,
we're in agreement.
yeah. like Opus Dei does exist, or
That's what I'm
Opus
saying.
Dei. But whether or not they
Yeah, did the
whip
church where
themselves and go
people
after
slaughtered?
people, I don't
Yeah.
know. But anyway,
Oh
let
yeah,
us.
I don't know about.
But I find it interesting how maybe many people. I mean, I knew it since world cultures class in high school, but it's like many people don't know that. Yeah, the at least the way Christianity has been since even before the fall of the empire, the Roman Empire. It's like it was all decided then by someone who just kind of converted on the spot, and at least many people believe that it was really a political decision um, to try and keep the Roman Empire intact. And of course, the Western Roman Empire fell in like 300 something, maybe 350 AD, and then the Byzantine Empire, the Eastern Roman Empire, continued on until just before the Crusades, um, which was about 1,000 something in that area.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like beginnings where it's like I mean, I really wish I've read some books on the Gnostics and what's out there. I don't know. It's tough. Like even the best book on it, I feel is like, I wish they would just, I don't know. It seems to be telling a little bit too much all over the place. And it's hard for me to get a good understanding of them. And I guess the thing is they weren't like
Well,
monolithic group. They had different beliefs and everything, but some of them, believed
well,
in
yeah, the Gnostics
reincarnation.
just a name
Some of
tagged on.
them, yeah, some of them
Yeah,
believed in
were they not?
reincarnation. And some of them, like as we know today from some of the things that David Icke has been talking about, is that they did believe that the Old Testament God was a different being than the Father of Jesus in the New Testament.
Well, the thing about the Nag Hammadi text is it's not like the New Testament is kind of put in, an order. They put it in so it kind of follows a flow, even though there are
Hmm.
some discrepancies. But anyway, the Nag Hammadi text is a collection of various writings. So you will find some of the books correlate perfectly with the Old Testament or the New Testament. Then there's other books that do not, like the whole Adam and Eve thing.
But
There's variations, and there's like one Noah. There's a book that said he didn't float around on an ark; they went in a cave. So there's it's not consistent. It's a bunch of
okay,
various writings from different people that were put in a collection,
but were
basically.
those Nag Hammadi or were those the Dead Sea Scrolls? Because those were different
Well,
things. The
yeah,
Dead
I'm
Sea
not as
Scrolls
familiar
were
with the
like
Dead Sea
were
Scrolls.
Old Testament stuff, and Nag
I
Hammadi
think
was
so.
New
Yeah, I'm not
Testament.
as familiar, so
Okay.
but I am with the Nag Hammadi a little bit
Yeah.
more.
All righty. And swappers, you've been suddenly quiet.
I was just listening to the conversation there. It's like just reminding me how little I know about this whole subject. But then, surprisingly, something will come up every so often that I'll point at the screen in this movie and go, "I know that. I know. I've, I've heard that before. I know." And my eyes were like all over the screen, just looking for symbolism and for clues and things to stuff that I might have already investigated or heard myself or seen a documentary on a few years ago.
Well,
Um,
this
Well,
I'm
yeah, I go
absorbing all of it.
silent every now and then too. I
well
don't know
this was
anything
this
to
was
say.
brought up during the scene with Ian McClellan. When he's first introduced in the film, they're going to his house for refuge and learn some things. They have the cryptex and thing. They don't know what his role is yet,
Hmm.
but when he's the one that tells them the story, and this is really for the benefit of the viewer, where it tells the story about Constantine and Mary Magdalene, which we can't be so sure about, but is interesting to know, and we might as well bring her up. What about Mary? And this is an interesting subject because, like, when I've read the Bible, when they talk about the prostitute, I think her name is Mary, but they don't say it's Mary Magdalene. So how do you know it's the same person?
Hmm.
Like when they
I
talk
don't
about
think
Mary Magdalene,
I don't think they even in that scene they even have a name for the prostitute. Is I mean
They don't.
they
They
don't.
just
So
one,
Mike confirms it. They
yeah,
just
one of the
yeah
popes attributed.
yeah yeah just to bring down the 13th apostle there.
well, I think we know how Liza feels about it. I'm
Of
keeping things
course.
open. I'm worried. At some point, I'm
Now
just like
wait a minute. The
I
13th
feel.
apostle was a black guy. Did you
Oh,
not see
gee.
Dogma? Come
Okay, I
on.
guess I don't have to be as careful as I've been anymore.
Yeah, it was Chris Rock, man.
Oh yeah, Dogma.
Yeah.
Wait, wait, I don't know what you guys are
You never
referencing.
saw
Oh
that
no, we
film.
can hear it. I don't think there's any real music in Dogma though, so I don't know how we do it.
Yeah, that's a film. I could show it to you sometime, Liza.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's got Matt Damon and Ben Affleck in it,
Oh,
and
it's
a whole bunch of
hilarious.
other people.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, Chris Rock. Yeah, and what's his name? Oh,
George Carlin.
oh yeah, and the voice of Metatron or
George Carlin's a
Metatron.
cardinal.
Yes.
Bloody Jesus. That's a great movie.
Yeah.
My
Well,
wife
anyway.
didn't think so though. She fell asleep in the middle of it. We watched it when we were dating. I thought she, I found out very early on my wife's not really into like Monty Python or slapstick type comedy like Kevin David or but yeah, it's like I was really surprised, but anyway, yes, Liza, you should see that movie.
Okay,
All right.
give it a shot.
Well, so anyway, I guess, yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I thought about when I did read some of the New Testament and I got to that part. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought it was supposed to be Mary Magdalene. And I was like, how do you know this is Mary Magdalene? It doesn't say that, and it's like, if it doesn't say that, then why do you, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. But yes, but I did see some documentaries, and apparently, like some of the things written in the Bible where they talk about how Jesus interacted with Mary Magdalene, they said at that time you would be married to a person if you were able to do that,
Well, it was
in public.
unusual. It would have been extremely unusual for a Jewish man of Jesus's age to be unmarried.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this is coming from someone who was raised Catholic.
Right.
A, you know, religion, what is taught in dogma, dogma, all of this stuff, the church. The church was created, the church as it exists now was created by men, not by God. And man is corrupt. Man has some work to do.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Man is fallible. We're not
yeah,
divine, and
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
the Bible was written by humans. It wasn't written by deities. So the Bible's
Precisely.
fallible too. So we're all
Well,
none of this stuff is ultimately divine. It's all like and the Bible's a storybook, as they say, the greatest story ever told. So it's a story told by men, not by deities or angels or non-corporeal beings. So that has to be taken into account.
exactly. And it's not even by the same people. Like the Old Testament is like about 1,000 years before the New Testament or even more.
Hmm.
And then the New Testament, I mean, they were all different people there. And so it was like all different sources. And remember, a lot of them weren't included. It's like the Council of Nicaea decided which ones are going to be included. And, this is being decided by, a group appointed by the a Roman
Roman
emperor who
Emperor.
was a pagan just a few years back, and
Yeah.
it's like okay, and I mean it, and then also we know, or at least religious scholars, and a lot of them are believers, still people of faith, are able to say that the Gospels weren't written by those apostles. It was written by perhaps followers of them later, but the earliest gospel is like 70 years after the
Well,
life of
now,
Christ.
well, that's what I always found ironic because, yes, I was raised Catholic as well. I went to Catholic school from second to eighth grade. So, yeah, I found it interesting that, yeah, I'd ask my dad these questions and, yeah, they didn't know who wrote it or anything. But what I think's interesting about back to Mary Magdalene is okay. So and I don't remember the popes' names, but around the fourth century, in a papal document by that pope at that time, uh, that's when it was written that Mary Magdalene was supposedly a prostitute. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the around the 12th century, another pope wrote another document declaring that yeah, there was nothing in the New Testament to back that up. So basically, he erased that. What I find fascinating is some people don't know, even Catholics, when the Pope speaks or acts or writes as the Pope, he is, if you're a Catholic, he is the voice of God. So you have a Pope that says she's a prostitute, and then 800 years later, one says he's not. Okay, well, if you're the voice of God, that means God's fallible,
Yeah.
which blows the whole Catholic thing out of the water because God is perfect according to Catholics. So I
Mm-hmm.
just find a lot of irony in that.
Yeah. Well,
And never really knew
I
that
do.
growing.
I do believe the omnipotent creator of the universe is perfect, but humans are not perfect, and
Right. But
central authorities and governments that are run by people that are fallible and corruptible are definitely not perfect. And I wouldn't believe somebody if they said they were speaking for God in anything. I mean, no.
right. Well, I mean, if you go to the
And
Old
I'm
Testament,
sorry. And I don't think the omnipotent being that created the universe, who created us to be creative beings, would want us to just mindlessly follow authority. He made us creative. He made us in his own image, powerful. Um,
oh yeah, yeah.
and
I don't think Jesus meant for all these churches, and all that either. But it's
yeah,
interesting because what I'm saying is, if you are Catholic, then this is what you believe, that he's yeah infallible. Yet your own book and your own leaders prove otherwise. I mean, even in the Old Testament, after the flood, God, I don't remember the exact wording of it, but basically, he's like, oh, I'm not going to do that again.
well, good. Wipe out the
Oh, so
whole
are
of
you saying you screwed
humanity.
up? you know? Yeah, you screwed
yeah,
up.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. You screwed up.
yeah,
Yeah,
you wiped it.
I had.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Old
Yes,
Testament myself, so I'm like,
no,
God, God is loving, but He will crush you. It's like okay.
Well,
I
I
think, I
understand
think,
that.
yeah.
Go ahead, Liza. I'll do that after.
I think I inherited my I don't know. I I grew up in a very interesting family. Me and my parents, we actually taught Sunday school. We taught catecismo, what we call, for many years. But and at least in the church we went to, we were never discouraged to have conversations with students and talk, question things.
Yeah.
And my mom, and I picked this up definitely from my mom. She says, the God of the Old Testament seems like an entirely different being from the God that Jesus comes to earth to represent. And I'm like, you know what? I agree with that. How do you, I mean, how can you have something? I mean, people do change throughout their life. but how can the perfect being, the creator of the universe, just change characters so drastically and be so fallible in this?
Unless it's evolving too. And that's where, in some ways, it's
That's
almost like
interesting.
if this
That's interesting.
consciousness is
Yeah.
composed of our souls and it's like the all,
Hmm.
as many people believe, then it is evolving as we are evolving. And
See, I never considered that. That's another way to look
but
at it
that,
too.
I'm just speculating here, folks, and that's what this is all about. I mean, this is not to slam any faith or anything like that, but just maybe post some questions. But this is something I've also thought about, is like in the Old Testament when Abraham is asked to put his child on an altar to be sacrificed. Um, I'm thinking, well, how does this happen? Does that mean like someday Abraham's there and he gets this voice in his head, or he gets this feeling, or something's guiding him? Okay, I want you to do this for me. And if you believe in me, and if you're good, and if your faith is strong, you will put your child on that altar, raise that axe, and be prepared to kill your child. I would first of all say, who the hell is talking to me? Whose voice is in my head telling me to do this? This is not a good being. Because once again, it's like, all right, you came up with the 10 commandments, and now you're asking me to do this. You're asking me to break those commandments. And as a proof, as a test of faith, it's like, wouldn't a loving entity, now I know there's such a thing as tough love, but tough love where you're asked to kill a child? I mean,
Well,
it's not
just
even
to,
it's not even like the testament says, where it's like it's a test of faith to see if he would sacrifice his child, because they're focusing on their Adam is showing that he's able to sacrifice his child. It's like, wait a minute, no, he's murdering a child. It's not, you shouldn't think of that child as a possession that he's sacrificing. He's murdering a child because of a voice from a deity in his head. And we're thinking this is a good being testing you
yeah.
by doing something like that. It doesn't matter if it's yours or somebody else's. Killing a child, that's really it. That's the test. Oh, it's like, okay, you're willing to do that. All right, your faith is strong, and now I look upon you with, good eyes and stuff like
Well,
that. It's like,
you
wait a
think about,
minute.
no, if I mean, yeah, how again, going back to the theme, if you would think the omnipotent creator of the universe, the great creator, is the most benevolent thing in the universe, in all universes, and then in this instance where it's like, well, prove your love to me by doing this. Who does that, narcs?
Well,
What? Why would no?
the competition between God and the devil over Job is another one. It's like,
Well, and what God tells Job at the end, to me, makes no sense. I don't know. I've never been able to make sense of the response given to Job at the end
and
of
what
that
and what was the
story.
response?
I can't even describe it because I don't understand it. And it's like it's something I can't quote it, but it's something to the effect of like, "How dare you? If I rise the sea, I I I don't know. Let me look it up. You know what? Why don't I quote it? And you tell
Okay.
me if you were
Well,
Job, if you were respond well to this, especially if you do believe in good and evil, and right and wrong.
well, if people don't know, basically it's a story in the Old Testament where it's speculated that it's what we call the devil. I mean, the term "the devil" is not used in the Bible. Uh, People have just associated Lucifer, the serpent, and other writings as to indicate just this devil. But the word Satan or Shaitan means adversary, the adversary of humanity, the being that wants us to fail, and is jealous of God's love for us. And basically, this uh, debate was whether a loyal subject of God, and there's that word
Okay.
subject, for a king. It's like weird, but the Job, who was a good man, it's like God said, okay, you can do your worst to him, Satan, and test his faith, but he won't lose his faith. And Job put up with a lot, but I think eventually he did lose his faith because, he was being tortured and suffering, absolute suffering, for being a good man. And it's like, what the hell's going on here? And so go ahead, Liza, if you found it.
Okay, I found it on Bible Hub. I don't is it's giving me a dot dot dot. Let me see the entire thing. Can I please see the entire thing? Come on. It's giving me. Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, "Who is this who obscures my counsel by words without knowledge, dot dot dot." It's like, oh, okay.
Who obscures
I
my
think
world without knowledge? Well, it's like
who
trying to
who
learn.
who is this who obscures my counsel by words without knowledge?
Basically, it's almost like saying, "Who are you to talk with me? You don't
Who
know better."
yeah, you don't exactly. I mean that is
You
a
don't know better. It's like, well, this is just
well, he does know better because he knows Job knows the difference between right
right
and
and wrong.
wrong because
Yeah.
there is a right and wrong, there is good and evil, and Job knows the difference. And it's like, hey man, it's like I don't deserve this. Why is this happening to me? And that was like that was not an answer from a benevolent God.
Well, I remember now. This is another thing. I remember that your father mentioned that one of the young priests that he knew growing up, because he went to a Catholic school
He went
also.
to a Catholic school, yeah.
Yeah, recommended that he read "Chariots of the Gods" by Eric von
Von
Daniken.
Daniken,
So that's an
yes.
interesting recommendation from a priest.
Mm.
Yes, it is. See, I don't, I mean, I don't think the church officially nowadays has any qualms about its members questioning, because again, the church, there's so much wrong with the church, but it has evolved in some areas and, promoted free thinking to a point. And yes, the omnipotent God of the universe wants us to be creative, wants us to question things. And if we're a part of it, why would it want parts of itself to be restricted?
Well, I
You
think
know?
the belief is that, throughout the ages, man has always thought of this entity as a ruler because they're used to being ruled over by other
Yes,
humans.
but
And so they think
yeah.
of, well, it's got to be a ruler and I need to please my ruler. Otherwise, how am I going to be acceptable? How am I going to,
Yeah, it's
you
like
know,
humans are predisposed to need to be guided by someone or to look for a guide. It's like we can't manage ourselves, so we have to look for someone to manage us, if you like, which also alludes to the whole concept of us being sheep and Christ being the shepherd.
mhm.
And the whole thing about shepherds is a big theme in the Bible. So it's a correlation there, I think, between us being a lost entity of people who need guidance and need someone to look to and focus on to kind of give us some kind of direction in life, almost because we can't do it ourselves. It's kind of depowering us in a lot of ways, or teaching us to believe we're depowered.
Well,
Yeah, exactly. I
I'm
think
not,
it's part of the education. I agree with swappers. I think through education, we're programmed to want to be led, but left to our own devices, we just want to do our own thing
Mhm.
and express our creativity.
well, it depends on the person and, whether they want to do things with their time here on earth that are good or bad. And usually it's a mix of the two because every day I'm still learning and wanting to get better. But I'm not as concerned about there being teachers. It's more of the concerns of the use of the word king and lord and subject and all this
Mhm.
vocabulary that I guess in English, of course, comes from the Middle Ages. And then but still before that, it was the same way, it was, and it's like amazing how over centuries, it's still something where it's like, it's about pleasing your ruler. It's about pleasing your king. And it's not laying down a law that says, all right, this is right and wrong. And this is basically what frees you from suffering. Um, and it's more about, if you don't do this, I will give you suffering and so
Yeah,
forth.
right. Ruling with fear, basically. So
Yeah.
making sure everyone stays in line. It's like saying, "Oh, if you don't do this, then you're going to go to hell." And everyone's just
Yeah.
automatically like, "Oh my God, I've heard about hell. I don't want to go there." So it's
Yeah.
just, fundamentally a method of control.
Yeah.
Um,
And
and
hell, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying the Bible and Christianity or any religion is purely created just for as a method of control, but that is definitely how it has been twisted and maybe abused to coerce us into behaving a certain way and acting a certain
Yes.
way and
Yes.
forming allegiances and armies and dualities and warring and manipulation definitely of us in a certain way. It's been used and twisted to do that to us. So I think something that was probably very holy and pure and very and righteous and designed to do nothing but spread a good word and help us in life has been used in a very sick and manipulative and sinister and insidious way. And
Yeah.
we, of course, and many of us don't see that. Many of us don't know that. We just go along with it and go along to get along, as they say. We know we don't want to offend anybody. People that an archdeacon of the church or whatever, some member of high-ranking cloth, knows much better than us. They've done more study than us. They're closer to the God than we are. And this is the identity they've taken. They've taken all this power and they're using all this power, and they've become gatekeepers to
Yes.
divinity. So we are being kept from our right to access divinity and access what I refer to as higher dimensions, higher planes of existence, higher consciousness by these people. They're like almost like power brokers or spirituality brokers, where you have to go through them to achieve something spiritual or some kind of higher function or higher awareness. We can't do it ourselves. Apparently, we need these people to do it for us. So therefore, we have to be good little subservient followers. Good little
Mhm.
sheep, do what they tell us and
Yeah.
act like they tell us, and not question anything. And not think beyond ourselves or beyond the realms of what this doctrine tells us. Basically, sorry, I'm ranting a little bit here, but
No, no, no,
No,
no. That's perfect, perfect, perfect.
I told you it's good.
And remember, guys, after Nicaea, a lot of people who were Christian were killed because they would not follow the top down Christianity that the emperor was putting out. So, or
Yeah.
his minions, because I guess the emperor was dead. Was the emperor dead by Nicaea, or was he present at Nicaea?
He was still
Constantine.
alive, but
Okay.
there was, but yeah, there definitely were high ups in the church. Basically, that's when bishops came about and everything like that. And of
Mm.
course, they say in the Bible, Peter was appointed as the first pope. And it's like, well, uh, okay, well, was it meant to be what you guys made it into exactly? Or,
Probably not. And the thing is, I lost my train of thought. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
It's just so many ideas flow. I can't seem to get them make them coherent.
Well, or at least
Uh,
when it started, the Roman Empire was still around for a little longer, so it was still like a pope and an emperor. And of course, that came back later with the Holy Roman
Holy
Empire,
Roman
where you
Empire.
had your secular ruler who was divinely appointed, I guess, by a divine pope, and all this divinity and stuff going on. Yet a lot of what they're doing is just like mass murder with through war and everything. Because the average person, if you think about it, really just wants to see their needs met and just live their lives. And that usually only gets perverted when they go to crime or other things because of need, and that's still wrong. But the thing is, the average person is not considering about, all right, we need to conquer those people over there, or we need to, you know, it's usually rulers that come up with that, and
Yeah,
trying to manage how resources are distributed. I don't
right.
know. It's like, I don't know that we can make the world all better, but the Merovingians, they were a French bunch that, yeah, during that time they had a relationship with the Knights Templar, and that's true that the Templar were massacred, as well as the Merovingians, by followers of the Pope, and the Templars, which I do have a slide for coming up here. No, that's the Holy Grail. We'll come back to the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's the Gnostic text, the Nag Hammadi stuff. That's not actually one of them. That's AI. And here we go. This is the slide I have for the Knights Templar. But yeah, they were originally funny enough, bankers too. You
Hmm.
know, they because they were, yeah, soldiers to kind of like defend the crusaders that were going off to war, but also, I mean, there was rules about like currencies and having pagan currencies and different things like that, and in the Holy Land, and they were basically like became financiers and also money changers, which is people that, that Jesus didn't really care for too much, at least in the Bible. you know, it's funny how this day and age there's so much with banking, and it is an interesting principle, because what it is essentially, when you have enough capital, you could basically not do works, and that's one of the things that God seemed to at least find important. One of the first things that He asked that Adam and Eve do: go out and do work, be fruitful and multiply, and do work. And it's like, but we have like an entire class of, not really a class, or basically we have an establishment that's been around since ancient days called banking, where it's like, we don't do work. We have capital here, and the way we make money is putting you under coercion to pay us back interest because you need this money. You know what I mean? And it's like, I understand that there's voluntary contracts and things that you get into arrangements for, but it seems like a lot of banks put themselves into positions where they're the only outlet that someone can go to in a time of need. And then, you know,
Well, yeah, it's all about centralized power. There's nothing wrong with money itself, but because only, governments control money, there's no, you don't, there's no competition. So, you know,
yeah. And
very high interests
well,
are
it's not just
charged.
competition, because I don't think the governments themselves are really have access to the money. It's like, the banks seem to have them.
Yeah,
Uh,
whomever has the real power is the one that's
Yeah, I think it
controlling
was
the
Maya
money.
Rothschild
And
that said that, I care not who is in government, it's the person who controls the currency that's really in power.
yeah, yeah,
Be-
and well,
And
there's yeah.
I think that was a tribal thing, where it was like another one bank taking out another bank, because the Roman Catholic Church is kind of like a bank. It has
Yeah.
an immense amount of
And the
capital.
and I think I don't know if this is true anymore, but at one point it was the the biggest landowner in the world.
Oh, it still is.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's still true. Okay. Interesting that.
Or at least I haven't heard
Centralized
otherwise.
power is bad. It
Uh,
doesn't matter whether it's the church or governments or corporations. Centralized power is bad. And
Yeah, and we're going to go
yeah.
back here to the Holy Grail. So in the movie, it posits that the Holy Grail was really the fact that Mary Magdalene was the mother of Jesus's bloodline, and the one character in the movie ended up being, a descendant from this
The
holy
descendant.
bloodline.
Yeah.
And the big secret basically is that, you know, uh, Jesus had a family and children, and it was like, for all intents and purposes, a normal human being, um, just perhaps with great teachings and everything. And
I
uh,
don't like though how they connected the blood of Jesus and Mary Magdalene to the Sinclair ruling family in France. It's like, okay, no. Why would you do that?
I don't know. Well, Sinclair, isn't that a Scottish name?
He said it was a
Oh, okay.
French royal French
Sinclair. Oh,
royal
yeah, yeah, it
family.
sounds French. Yeah, yeah, that's probably French. Yep. All right. Well, in any case, I think we should be winding things up soon. We have we this is interesting. Hans Zimmer and then all this stuff. How about ley lines? Anybody want to talk ley lines?
I don't know much about him.
Especially
Except from what I hear in Ancient Aliens. I mean, it's interesting, but I don't understand it.
well, I asked AI to give me a picture of Tom Hanks working with a cryptics, and it gave me this kind of like a dollhouse, and I decided I'll use that for ley lines. Well, and the whole thing, it was talking about the structure of Paris, and they called them rose lines there. But of course, I've seen plenty on basically power lines across the earth, supposedly, that a lot of important buildings, churches, castles, and things are built upon, as if there's like some sort of a natural power grid. Now, I don't know if it's if it's like an electrical source, although some people claim so. But I think there is something to like different locations of things and places of power. But I'm not sure that it really works like electricity, but it's more of like maybe, shall we say, some spiritual power or clarity or something that can be utilized. Yeah, I'm not. I just thought I'd throw that in there. I don't really know much about ley lines. How about you, Swappers? Do you?
I've like you, I've known about them a fair amount through stuff like Ancient Aliens and
Yeah.
documentaries, things like that. There's a lot of authors in the UK that delve a lot into ancient megaliths and things and
Hmm.
Stonehenge because that it's like on a conjunction of ley lines. And when you look into the whole subject, it's fascinating because they cross over a lot of landmarks across the planet
Yeah.
and bisect certain territories and things where certain things have happened and where crop glyphs seem to appear
Hmm.
miraculously and frequently. So obviously there's something going on with it, and you can use divining rods to figure out where a ley line is too.
Right.
So there's electromagnetic energy coming from them or coming through them. So they're a definite thing, um, without doubt. But I don't know how they came to be in the first place because it almost suggests that it's not a natural occurrence because they're like lines of power or lines of energy coming, life force coming from the planet itself, and it doesn't seem like a natural phenomena. It seems like it's been designed and sort of laid out like electrical cable almost. Like someone would lay out a,
Interesting.
a,
Yeah.
a circuit in a house or a building. So, which alludes to the planet may not have natural origins and may have some kind of structural element to it that was intelligently designed.
Hmm.
They say the same thing about the moon and certain other bodies in the solar system, but
Yes.
um, there,
I've
there's
heard that. Yeah.
there's various theories about the origins of the planet, whether it sort of formed on its own, like we're told in school or science documentaries, or whether it's formed as a sphere from a destroyed segment of another much larger planet, which has gone by a few names. One of them is Tiamat, that
Oh
existed
yeah.
in the
Yeah.
solar system originally with Mars as one of its moons, and Ganymede and a few others as well, which are spherical bodies in the solar system that still exist and have been charted. And the planet was obliterated by some kind of cataclysm. That there's many different theories about that.
Hmm.
And the remnants of Tiamat coalesced into what we now know as this planet. So we could be looking at. I mean, we found ancient ruins and things like that on the bottom of the ocean, buried deep within land masses that shouldn't even exist. Like, how did people get down there to build these things if they're like sealed inside trillions of tons of rock? No one could have things that predate carbon dated to predate civilizations that humans shouldn't have existed at that period of time. So we could be looking at structures that have been purpose built, pyramids, things like that have been purpose built before this planet might have even been this planet, that survived
Wow.
that cataclysm and
Incredible.
still exist
Yeah.
now.
Wow.
So
Fascinating.
people think that this good stuff goes back thousands or maybe millions of years. No. You don't understand. This could go back hundreds of trillions of years. This is
The creation of the planet. Wow. Interesting.
Well,
so.
they speculate that's like 13 or 14 billion years. But one interesting thing is still like the current theory of the creation of the moon is that the Earth was collided into by a large object that was planetary in size, and then the moon and the Earth are basically coalesced from the remains of this collision. So, I mean, there's evidence that it's scientifically supported now that shows that, Earth did have collisions in its history at the very least.
Mhm.
And I'm not talking about just like comets,
Right.
huge planetary type cataclysms.
Yeah, and then there's also the mathematical almost impossibilities of the dimensions of the sun and the moon, the Earth, and the distance between them, that suggests that is all orchestrated as well. Because it's so mathematically perfect that the chances of it being a natural occurrence are like several billion to one or something. So there's loads of things there that suggest that was all arranged and planned, and the moon was positioned where it is at one point to change the environment and the nature of the planet as it was.
Yeah, and what we call natural, like a lot of times we use that as terms for, oh, that's just the Earth happening on its own and everything. But the word nature comes from nurture or netter, I think was the original word, which
Mm.
meant God, and so it was like, I mean, the way things happen could be certainly different be different than what's behind it. Things could happen through an accretion disk,
Mhm.
like for the solar system's formation. But the forces at play in doing that could definitely have some intelligence behind it, and that's all that's all I'm saying.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm open to so many things. That's why I'm a wayfarer. I'm a traveler trying to learn things in this lifetime, and I don't imagine I'll ever get to know it all. And
That's what we'll
probably
say, isn't
won't.
it? The only thing you can be certain of is the fact that you will never know.
Yep.
Well, how
Mhm.
little how little that exists that you will ever know, and how little
Yep.
exists that we do know. And so many people think they know it all, and they have
Mhm.
no clue. They have no clue.
Well, the whole thing also for me is the one thing that is knowable is knowing how to deal with each other and to live in harmony with each other through non-aggression,
Mhm.
basically. That's the one thing that is knowable, and I think needs to be known.
There was
Um,
something a friend of mine, good friend of mine, from years ago, told me. He's never been a religious person. You'd probably label him as spiritual to a degree, but he believes in things like ki and chi and karma,
mhm.
things like that, but never organized religion. He was always very much against organized religion, because he felt as if he was being coerced as a child at school, and with visiting to church, and indoctrination into things, and he kind of automatically rebelled against that and lived his life just as a good person instead of being instructed to. And I said to
Mhm.
him, "What's your stance on religion and Bible and things like that?" And he said, "I don't need to read any religious text. I don't need a massive book with loads of pages in it to tell me not to be a dick." That always stuck with me. I just thought, wow, yeah,
Yeah.
a massive religious tome sitting on your shelf, and all you really need to know at the end of the day is just don't be a dick.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
All right. Well, I think we that might be close to our Opus Dei. I don't know much about Opus Dei. The works of God is what it means, but yeah, I don't know much about it, and obviously neither does AI because it gave me this when I asked for the leaders of Opus
Yep.
Dei. So, but that is
Oh.
posited in the book. But I think
Mhm.
an organization does such exist, whether they self-flagellate or whip themselves. I don't know, but it sounds like something the being from the Old Testament would really like. I mean,
Mhm.
that's another thing that um, that I thought about, and I'm not sure where it exactly came from, but the idea is like, okay, you have one lifetime to learn exactly right and wrong with all these different versions of it out there. Now, I know there are some commonalities, but there's, as long as we have all these different religions that are claiming to be the right way, it's like, all right, that's really confusing. And then at the end of the day, the whole idea is if you don't get it right, at least in many circles of thought, I think the big three, probably Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, the idea is like you got to get it right or else you end up in eternal suffering. So you have
Mhm.
a finite beginning, a brief life, and then all of eternity to suffer or be in paradise. It's like, wow. Someone
Well, it's
came up with
interesting
a
because
pretty
not, and but this is the reason the Gospel of Peter was kept out of the Bible, because Jesus reveals something to Peter about that um, hell is more of a rehab than an actual perpetual thing, like a forever thing.
Mhm.
And yeah, go read the Gospel of Peter. It's available online. I think I did. You know what? I think when I was doing research into the Apocrypha, I found it on the Vatican website.
Was that the Gospel of Thomas you were telling me about? I think it was the Gospel of Thomas that you were reading, and then you had your first out of body experience after that.
It. I was reading. I ran into the Gospel of Thomas. I don't remember any of my readings from it, but I remember that thing from the Gospel of Peter because it was just so. I
Hmm.
mean, we're not taught that. Why is this being kept out of the Bible? It's like
That's
that's more in line with a God that is benevolent and cares about us.
this is why I find the Apocrypha like the most fascinating thing about about religion generally, and definitely the Bible, because they were omitted. I think, well, what's the reason they were omitted? And it's not just it's because it contradicts so much with the narrative that we've been given. And if you can't admit something, you just kind of almost implicating yourself, you're incriminating yourself, and making people question what you don't want them to question. So just by omission of these texts,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
um, you're showing the what's the word I'm trying to think of, the invalidity. No, that's not right.
Invalidation.
You're invalidating
Oh,
basically, yeah, the teachings and the Bible itself. um, Surely you should include everything that's included that was basically written as the Bible. And if you're omitting them, that's going to be more interesting to me. I'm going to want to go and seek that out straight away.
Exactly. Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah.
like, I
hmm.
don't want to listen to what you're telling me. I want to go and find out for myself what you don't want to tell me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Well, there's Roslyn Chapel. Now, apparently, yeah, that chapel that was shown in the movie does exist and has a similar interior. I don't know that it has the same purpose, but yes. And that's not it, folks. That's an AI.
That's an that's
It looks.
stable diffusion,
I think that
Rosalind
might
Chapel.
actually be the Jedi Temple at Acto.
Oh
Mm.
god.
Not far off it.
All right. And then finally, this is our last slide. We'll say good night to this subject, but we have the pyramid outside the Louvre. This is not it, folks. This is an AI thing because it's given us two of them. But in the movie, it, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Pyramids. I think there is something to symbolism and repeated use of symbols, and I think the pyramid, as being the most architecturally sound structure, just with its design and how it's structured, the weight decreases as it goes up. The heaviest part is on the bottom, and the bottom ain't moving unless there's an earthquake or something, I guess. And even then, it's got to be a good one. It's very resistant because of its structure,
Hey,
where
welcome, Stitch.
the bottom is under immense pressure, and as you go up, less and less pressure until the top, and that's where the ruler is, so to speak. And everything all the way down is compartmentalized. So those of us like us that are on the bottom, we got all this weight bearing down on us, and basically we don't know what's above us. It's kept a mystery. We can only speculate, and that's how the human beings are ruling the world, basically.
Entities. Should we say entities ruling the world?
Entities. Yeah.
I like entities. I like
Mhm.
entities.
Yes. I wasn't exactly going to go there, but might as well. Yeah, I think there's something behind the human handlers,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Yeah, I do not think original sin really belongs to man. It
Mm-hmm.
belongs to something else, because I do believe that people, being in the image of the Creator, we are not born with evil in us. And so, I don't know.
Not
I
evil, but
definitely,
we are fallible. I think we do have original
well,
fallibility.
Yeah.
well,
It depends on
we
what we learn and how we're
it's
taught.
exactly how we're taught, what environments we're put in. And but a lot of that is controlled by is out of our control. There are ways to take control back. And so I guess maybe one day we'll have a conversation about that, and hopefully
Well,
YouTube
I'm
will
looking
not kick us
forward to
off.
it. I'm looking forward to that if you could come up with it, because
I'd
right
love
now,
to. I'd love to sit here and listen
yeah.
to your out of body experiences. That would be fascinating for an entire
Oh
two.
my
Would
oh
be
my
Well,
god.
Liza's experience, which I briefly mentioned, hers was not a good one, but it was
No.
after she worked on a piece where she
hmm
had to read from, I think you said, the Gospel of Thomas, and
I read from the Apocrypha, and it was, yeah, I remember I looked up the Gospel of Thomas. I spend more time with the Gospel of Peter, but I was going down some holes that I don't know. When you look into evil, it definitely does take an interest in you.
It looks back.
And
hmm
it looks back and it uses your fear against you. But it was through that experience that I learned that we have the power of Jesus within us to
hmm
fight these things back. We are more powerful than they are. And they have tried to obfuscate
Yeah,
that
that's what they
power.
don't want us to know. You're right. Yeah.
Exactly. And so, interesting. But
Yeah,
it it was a terrifying experience, and just talking about it, I my hands are going
Wow.
sweaty. It was a very unpleasant
yeah,
experience.
you went through the roof
Um,
of your house, right? And you were above your house.
well, that was the out of body experience. That was when I was younger.
Oh, okay.
Uh, but that wasn't pleasant either. But when I had an encounter with a being, um, I mean, I'm just gonna say it. I was attacked by a demon, folks, and there is evil. Evil is real. I mean, it exists, and it was through that experience that I realized that there is power in the name of Jesus, but not in the way that the church, describes it.
hmm
Um, it We have His power, and we can defeat this evil. But it's wow. Will this stream be taken down?
I don't know. Well, first of all, I'll have to clip out the Hans Zimmer stuff. Imagine that.
Well, my
This is the
issue
music.
is, I mean, I'm grateful for this platform, YouTube, but
Yeah,
YouTube has censored many people. There
yeah.
are people who used to be on this platform that are not here anymore, and we've worked so hard to become,
Well,
I'm just being a little selfish here, but in carrying on with this conversation, we're gonna have to talk about David Icke, and we're gonna have to talk about Mark Passio, and we're gonna have to talk about a lot of things that we've learned and experiences that we've had, and get into 2020. And I don't know that I want to take us there. So I'm just being honest,
well,
folks.
we're at the end of the slides for this evening, and I think it is about time that we do wrap it up. But we'll just say in the future we may approach some things here and there delicately and
Count me
talk
in on
about
that.
them.
It sounds amazing.
Oh yeah, I'd love to, man. So I guess what we'll do is maybe just little bits here and there about some things that when we have opportunities, because we want to talk about some of the music, some of the works other people are doing, like Swappers and the Flute Wizard, and all these people that are creators. And basically, that's what's important. That's the one thing that the adversary, so to speak, cannot do is
Hmm.
create. It can only
It
pervert.
cannot create exactly, and Tolkien even touches upon that in the Silmarillion, and he
Yeah.
was a Catholic, deeply Catholic, and but he was also a free thinker, and he I think through the Silmarillion, especially in the first chapter, I can't pronounce it, Anduli, something like that. He was questioning in this chapter, why is there evil in this world? Why would the creator put evil in this world? And he was battling with that in the first chapters of the Silmarillion. And so we're not, I mean, plenty of the smartest people of the planet, freest thinkers, have gone down these rabbit holes, and
Well, I
super
think
fascinating.
yeah. One possibility is that it just exists as as a law. It's almost like when I'm going through some of my panic attacks, which I do occasionally get with no reason. There's no reason for me to be panicking. It's just I feel something all of a sudden. I'm on this thing for a few hours. In those cases, what I approach is the thoughts. Some are hopeful, and then right away it goes to something that's very pessimistic, and it's like this bouncing between the poles of good outcome, bad outcome, good outcome, bad outcome, and it's almost like, is there any way to escape the negativity? Is it something, or is it something there like a magnet where you have a northern pole and a southern pole, and both are going to be there no matter what?
Mm.
I don't know.
Stitch sent a super chat.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Stitch.
Well,
He
thank
says, love
you.
you guys. I apologize for not being here as often as I would like. We're
Oh,
glad you're here now.
fear not, Stitch.
You.
Well, we do start earlier now. This was our first week trying 7 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know. I guess it kind of worked. I mean, I don't feel, I don't, it's not that I want to start and overlap with Mr. Brown Alliance at all. It's just they're kind of winding down usually in the last half hour. So, or however long it is, sometimes they stop early. And so since we can't really control where exactly, where they end and we begin, I figure, well, let's do a time that's better for Mike. As you can see, he's already fallen asleep. Um,
Mike is still here. Mike?
I am a little tired.
Mike's like, damn it, when are we going to do music again?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I had a lot to say, but I think I don't know. I pissed some spirit off because I opened a box of Cheetos and I ate a few Cheetos, and then they knocked the box off on the floor, and I had to clean up half a box of Cheetos off
Oh
the
my
floor.
Oh,
goodness.
Mike. Oh
So
Now
no.
that's got to
I
be an
thought, man,
ordeal.
maybe I better shut up, you know?
Well, I don't know, Mike. I mean, maybe it's a good spirit that's trying to say stop eating junk.
Yeah, Mike. That's what
Man,
I
I
would
like
think.
that twist. I
Ugh.
like it.
Yeah.
That's a good twist.
Yeah, Cheetos are a bit of a temptation, but we it's very rare for us to have something like that anymore. We've been eating a lot more of just whole foods of like
Yeah.
fruits, vegetables, things not in the box. We do
Hmm.
still get some chickens that at least arrive in, well, chicken that arrives in packaging, but it's, organic. What is it? Field raised. I think that's the new term now because we found out that yeah, pasture raised and so
Yeah,
forth.
pasture raised. Yeah.
Yeah, we still do eat meat, although you know, I
We try to get
I'd have to
humane.
if I could be if I could the only way I could live as a vegetarian would be in India because they make it taste so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, mostly chicken. I could be pescatarian probably, but the problem with seafood and me is I can get gout flare ups.
Mm.
So
Yeah, and I want to read this Gospel of Peter because that is not part of the Nag Hammadi. That's a separate thing. So
oh really?
Let me
I'm
see where I
intrigued.
found. I'm pretty sure I found it on the Vatican website. Uh,
Really?
let me.
Well, at least the
Yeah.
Vatican, yeah, the Vatican, you can through there find out about the Apocrypha, and
Hmm.
they do link
That's
to
where
it.
Because
that's
I
where
mean,
I
that's one of the
found
rejected books.
PDFs. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like in the follow up movie called Angels and Demons. I like what the guy says at the end. One of the cardinals says, "We are all human. We're all infallible, including this one." And he pointed to himself, and I think
Well,
that's
generally, the
Yeah.
church does not want you to. I mean, I'm not. If that's where you found it, that's where you found it. But like the Nag Hammadi text, I mean, shit. The reason they were put in caves was because if you were caught with that stuff, you could be killed.
yep.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
so they really didn't want this stuff getting out. But anyway,
Well, the church, we have to say, it has changed over the years. Now, there may be some elements within it, I think, that are still not good, definitely, but um,
Definitely not. Yeah.
there's things that have
Yeah.
changed. It's like, Stephen Hawking didn't get the Galileo treatment.
well, yeah,
Right.
I mean, they quit slaying people. Of course, it
I'm
wasn't
trying to.
just the Catholic
I'm
Church.
trying
I
to
mean, the
find.
witch hunts, a lot of that was the Protestant Reformation.
Yeah.
The Catholics kind of tried to.
Witches.
The Catholics kind of tried to bring the pagans in different ways, but that would be another whole night
Yeah,
discussion.
the Irish Catholic Church was interesting to start. It's a shame that it went back to the papal thing.
Well, I mean, like a lot of the saints and stuff like that were kind of based on pagan gods.
Well, and the whole idea of having reliquaries and basically, having pieces of saints in boxes.
Yeah.
It's like worshiping pieces of the dead. Ah, I don't know about that. I don't think that's such a great idea.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we're going to close off tonight. Thank you very much for joining us again, World of Swap Shop.
You're
Definitely,
welcome.
we'll stay in touch anytime we could explore topics. I think maybe I'll be a little bit better in preparedness, and if we have some focused thing sometime, we can definitely jump into these things maybe a little bit. I mean, it's just when you get on the stream, all of a sudden I'm like, I forget everything I've read, you know? It's like, and I sound stupid. It's like,
I'm
pyramids.
doing an. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm doing an a quick AI search here, and it says that the Vatican website doesn't have the. I remember accessing this. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it wasn't the
Okay, this
Vatican. It was
not
many years ago, but it was a Catholic website.
Ah,
Yeah, I
It
mean,
was
these
called, it was the
other books.
Vatican as opposed to the Vatican.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, all these books are. Yeah, this is all stuff that not just the Catholics, but most
Hmm.
the majority of Christians reject. You're not even supposed to read them because they suggest things other than what they believe, and so yeah. I mean, I read.
I'm pretty sure because they had they had like video links to masses in uh in in the Vatican in what's the church that's there.
Uh, St. Mark's.
And so and they had masses
I'm going to look that up because I may get
uh,
that wrong.
It's
in
the Basilica
Spanish as well.
of
Let me see.
Saint Peter, I
Let
think.
me see what the
Well, it's
heck is.
St. Peter's Basilica, and then there's, I'm trying to, they have a name for everything. And so it's like, there's a
Yeah,
name
the
for
Vatican
the
City.
dome, and there's a name.
They even call it the Vatican City.
American.
What is the name of the church in the Vatican? We could call this researching on earworms. The
Yeah.
Church of St. Peter's Basilica. Okay, so the basilica is the church. But basilica, that comes from basilis, which I think that means king, so forth. And yet,
Well, anyways, I found tons of other places, including a website, gospels.net, that has the Gospel of Peter
Oh well, yeah, that would make
translation.
sense.
So there are a bunch of websites now, but I remember accessing, this information from a Catholic website, and I'm pretty
mhm.
sure it was the Vatican website. In any case,
Well, according to AI, the Gospel of Peter is not found on the Vatican website.
Mm-hmm.
But you might have. I don't know.
interesting.
You sure it wasn't
Yeah.
Catholic
So
site?
I mean, I don't have. I was an undergraduate working on something when I started digging
Oh,
into this stuff. So,
Yeah, and there's even a Gospel of Q. They didn't have a name for it, so they called it
oh,
Q.
another super chat by Stitch.
Well, thank
Stitch.
you, Stitch.
thanks.
Okay, one more. Mea culpa. Love you too, and even Mike. Mike,
Oh
pobrecito.
my goodness.
Mike.
What now?
Stitch, why you do Mike like that?
Hey, Stitch, while you're there, what would you like
I,
us to do next week? I'm out of ideas. I know I want to do The Last of the Mohicans at some point with the Terry Jones score. But since you were so generous tonight, give us what would you like us to do if it's something we can do? Uh-huh. 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 We'll wait for Stitch to give us a response. And yes, please just respond with a regular chat. You've been very generous tonight.
Yes, Gospel of Peter is on gospels.net
Okay.
cool beans.
and a few other places. But yeah. Oh well, maybe
Very
I'll.
interesting. Yeah.
Who has
Yeah.
gospels.net?
Who has it?
I found it
Well,
on there, and
what's
then Mike.
do they have an about page like saying who they are?
Oh,
Let me see.
I don't.
Let me see.
I'm looking.
Yeah, I don't see a
Ooh.
menu. Welcome.
It looks like it's a site. Mark M. Madison. Because he also has
Yes.
the book.
Okay,
Okay.
but this is a really old school website. Wow. This is
Yeah.
like early 2000s old website. Yeah, Mark Madison. Yeah,
All right,
interesting.
Liza. I think Stitch here. Yeah, Liza, when you get a chance, if you can tell me what Stitch's response is, see if we got a request, and then we're going to wrap things up. But we can,
Stitch says trust in Scott Hovitt. He will lead the way.
I agree with that.
yep. The Fifth Element was a great suggestion. What does Scott say,
Yet,
though?
Scott says, Stitch, you're very kind. But then Stitch says, if Scott has no ideas, perhaps a selection of Hans Zimmer's best work.
Well, that's what we were trying to do. A selection, meaning just DJing things that'll have to be
selection.
cut out. Yeah, let's just play a lot of things that'll be cut out. I try to make sure that it's maybe like keep it to 10% music, so that way the video still has integrity. Because music's gonna have to be cut out. YouTube's getting worse now. It's like they don't even just take monetization; they actually will not let you keep the video public unless you cut it out. Depending on what tracks they are and what the agreements are. Some of the other YouTubers that play music and just get the monetization hit, they're trying to focus on certain tracks or disguise them in a way.
Maybe we should do Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh my goodness. I've never seen that.
You know, I've never
Really?
seen it. Yeah.
Oh, it's been
Nope.
years. Yeah, it was a rock opera.
Yeah, I've heard the music.
There were a lot of Christians that said it was blasphemous just because it was rock music. Because rock music is evil, you know.
Well, you ought to see what they're playing in these mega churches now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There's music of all kinds.
There's a reason for you to watch the movie.
Wait a minute. Stones? Maybe the Rolling Stones. Is there a specific Rolling Stones album? Because I know that the Stones will be something we want to be able to come back to them multiple times. You know?
Well, let's see. Some Girls was controversial because of the album cover. Compare Jesus Christ Superstar with Godspell. There you go.
Maybe that way, we could, Elijah and I could watch both. And then we'll just set up a thing where we have slides that, talk about a comparison between the two.
Yeah, I'm trying
That
to
way
remember.
we're not just going slide by slide, just like recounting the stories or anything like that. We could.
Yeah, I'd have to rewatch them myself. It's been so long.
Hey, that might be the right thing to do, because Swapper sent me a video last week of a knockoff of Jesus Christ Superstar.
It's like a
That
parody.
someone did. Yeah, a parody.
A parody. Ooh.
I just watched it for the first time a couple of nights ago, ADBC. It's really funny.
Yeah, like AD, BC, after death, before Christ. Anum Domine, I'm sorry. Yeah. It's called ADBC. You can find it on YouTube. Pretty funny.
Yeah, it's only half an hour long, but there's some really funny bits in there. That's worth
It's called
seeing.
what?
AD/BC. It's on YouTube. Yeah, it's a parody of, I guess, these musicals. But we could do that.
See, a rock opera.
Yeah, if you've ever seen any episode of The Mighty Boosh, there's quite a few of the actors from The Mighty Boosh in there.
2004, Matt Berry.
Hmm.
28 minutes.
That's it.
Well, I will put that and save to watch later. Boom.
Okay.
I love the way they scream "Get out" at each other multiple times. It's really funny. You see what I mean when you see the episode. But yeah, it's great. I've got the inclination to, whenever anyone comes to the house, just when I tell them to get out, it's just to.
It looks like the dude that was in the IT crowd.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
There's a few people from that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. God, I love that, man. That show was so funny.
Oh, let me just look this up quick. But I think that'll be it. I'll take a look at Godspell and Jesus Christ Superstar.
There you
With
go.
Jesus Christ Superstar, I know the music, because I had an album that I played when I was young, but I didn't ever see it. So
Oh man, yeah, I haven't seen it in years.
and I'm just looking up here. That was Andrew Lloyd Webber, was it? Yep. And
It
Godspell.
was?
Yep.
Okay. Mm.
Yep, just verified. I was pretty sure it was him, and it was. And Godspell was written by Jean-Michel. what? Wow. Tabelek, or Tabelek. So yeah, Jean-Michel Tabelek. All right. So that'll be next week. That'll be an interesting thing to learn this week. All righty then. So I've already thanked the swappers. Let's thank Mike for being here with us again. And you gentlemen, make it all worthwhile just being with you guys.
Aw,
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
teary-eyed.
So I think
Oh,
we're gonna play a performance as we do to say goodnight from Olivier Duché. And here we
Oh,
so thanks for the tip, Stitch, and we shall
Yes,
endeavor to make
thank
next week's show a good one. And we'll be selective about the music. I mean, we got to talk about it, but we got to be selective because it does get cut out later. Ugh. Fortunately, Rumble is there and Odyssey's there. The links to which can be found on my YouTube channel, but you could also search Rumble for the Wayfarer Project. It's there. They don't make us take things apart. Funny that. All right, folks. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.